love whenever we play with y'all. It's just so fun because it's like we have 5 songs in the set list, but we know that we might do just one.
If that.
If that,
If
you know. Can you speak to that a little bit? What
yeah.
goes through your mind? What's that for you guys as worship leaders? Do you just go there thinking, I'm gonna do just one song? That's the goal, or you just go there just to, what's the waiting on the Lord and the sort of the just listening to His voice in the moment and just sort of going with it, both in lyric and in music and in worship. What does it look like? Can you speak to that a little
Yeah,
bit?
man, I'd love to share about that. I think, growing up, following Bethel,
Mm,
I was given so much permission to
mm,
explore what actual worship is and what it means to fully express my affection for Jesus.
mm,
And as I got older, all of a sudden it got really trendy, to do spontaneous worship. And so I needed to seek God about what am I doing? Because I don't want to be trendy. I want to be authentic. If you know anything about me, I identify as an Enneagram 4. And so authenticity is everything. And so I'm like, what are we doing? Like, not that I don't believe in this, it's so free, but what is it? And I heard from my pastor, he was like, you know, spontaneous worship, let's talk about something different. He's like, let's define it differently. It's not spontaneous worship, it's a spontaneous response to what the Holy Spirit is revealing to me about Jesus. And a prime example is when we're listening to King of My Heart, Stephanie singing King of My Heart. No, sorry, Reckless Love.
mm,
And in the middle and at the end, she goes, your love is relentless.
mm,
Now, if you know what I'm saying, I've heard Reckless Love over and over and over again, but in the moment, she immediately she got a revelation from the Holy Spirit about the love of God. So instead of just singing the same thing, she literally went, oh my, it, like in her heart, she's like, oh my gosh, your love is relentless. So then she starts singing it. And because it's true, we all encounter it and we all end up in a place of freedom. And I'm like as a worship leader, when we're in worship and we're singing, you know, um, may the king of my heart be the mighty, like that happened with us in Upper Room. We're singing, you are good, good, oh. And then we start singing, you're never gonna leave me dry. I think it was after you are good. And I remember as I closed my eyes, I thought to myself, well, like I asked Eniola, I said, Eniola, why is he good? You've been saying the same thing for like 3 minutes. Why is he so good? And I asked my heart, I was like, why is he good? And I was like, because he sets a table for me in the presence of my enemies. Like I was like, that's why you're good. And I literally pictured myself before the accusers who would whisper in my ear that you don't belong here. And I was like, you give me a table to feast on right here in the presence of my enemies. That's one of the reasons you're good. So when I'm singing, even in the presence of my enemies, I know you're good. Like I'm being convinced by that. Not like I'm happy that someone else is. I'm like, I'm happy for you guys. But Eniola is getting the revelation. And ultimately it's always about a revelation of Jesus, not a revelation of just like a revelation.